You guys, I went to a nutritionist for the first time and my mind is literally blown. Let me share it with you. Okay, hi, if you're new here, my name is Maile and welcome. I haven't done a sit down video like this in a long time, but I just had this very interesting experience at a nutritionist literally like 2 hours ago. I just got back from the appointment and I thought I have to share about what this was like. Buckle up, strap in, don't forget to subscribe below if you aren't subscribed, but without further ado, I just have to get all my thoughts and feelings out about what it was like to go to a nutritionist. So, a little backstory for you here. I have been different weights my entire life. I've done every diet under the sun. I've dieted when I did not need to lose any weight. I've dieted when I've needed to lose a lot of weight. I've lost a lot of weight in an unhealthy way. I've lost a little bit of weight, back and forth fluctuations over the past like 5 or 6 years. In more healthy ways, I've been on a journey with my body and with body positivity, accepting and loving myself for who I am, the way that I am, while trying to maintain a healthier lifestyle and always be pushing myself to be better and to be as healthy as I possibly can, while also trying to keep a realistic mindset and not deprive myself and not have bad feelings about myself. So that has been really a lifelong journey, and I would say over the past year, I've really come to a healthy spot about it. I focus really hard on trying not to be overly obsessed with the number on the scale. I try to eat in a pretty healthy but also realistic moderation mindset. I fail a lot at that. I love sweets. I love carbs. I love bread. Oh, bread is my favorite food. Bread and Cadbury eggs and Jiffy cornbread are the things that I would want on a desert island if I were ever stranded. And I would die at least, I think I could probably make it like 24 hours, but my food consumption of those 3 things that I would take with me as my favorite foods on the island would definitely kill me pretty quick. But also, I think what would kill me quicker is the fact that I literally am allergic to the outdoors. And by allergic, I don't mean like medically allergic. I mean like I hate going outside and I hate physical labor and I hate outdoor activities. Okay, that was a tangent. All this to say, I love bad food and I consume bad food a lot. And even just calling it bad food is something my brain is going, Maile, don't call it bad food. It's not bad food. There's no bad food and good food. You can tell. I've been on a journey. The journey is ever evolving and I'm always just striving to be better. So Eric and I have done really good about that this past year. I've exercised more than I ever had. I tried strength training this year. I did a video about it. I'll link up here. And we've cooked at home more than we ever had. We've cooked more balanced meals than we've ever had. I just feel like we're in a really good spot. However, I am still indulging in the foods that I like to indulge in, probably more than I should be on a health perspective wise. And my body hasn't really made super big changes, and that's okay. Like, I accept that and I understand that. But like I said, I'm trying to be the healthiest version I can of myself, and I decided to make an appointment with a nutritionist. I'd heard amazing things about this woman. I was just like really excited about sitting down and chatting with her and hearing what she had to say, okay? So my mindset going into this was really good. And I made sure to stress to her when we first sat down that I am here not to lose weight, although if that happens, great. I am here to learn about the tools that can help me be healthy, that can help me learn how to cook a balanced meal, that can help me meal plan and eat food that has lots of good energy for me and will make me feel better. I recognize my body is the way that it is and I'm trying to love myself as I am. And so I don't want to be focused on weight loss. I want to be focused on health and how I can continuously improve myself. And she was like, spot on, I got you. That's exactly what I would tell you, but looks like I don't need to tell you that because we are on the same page. So I was like, great. Check 1, done. I don't have to worry about this lady telling me, okay, you need to lose X amount of pounds and you need to do it in 6 months time and we're gonna do X, Y, and Z to make it happen. Like, there was nothing like that. She was very body positive, very just overall encouraging about a slow, sustainable, realistic process to just help you live the best healthy life you can. So the first thing she talked me through once she got my history and, you know, a bit about why I was there was she legitimately asked me, okay, so walk me through what you ate yesterday. And I told her every single thing I ate yesterday. Thankfully, it was like not a day where I was totally binge eating and eating horrible things for me all day. It was a pretty normal day. So I didn't feel too embarrassed to like share that with her or whatever. Not that I should be embarrassed, but you know, it can be intimidating to go tell someone exactly what you ate. Like that seems pretty personal and a little invasive. She did it in a very nice way. So once she kind of got the scope of what I typically eat, my typical exercise regimen, she then talked me through this printout, which I will spare you the details of everything on this printout, but it's essentially breaking down the food pyramid, which the food pyramid is like basic science 6th grade level, you know what I mean? Everybody pretty much knows what the food pyramid is. But this sheet breaks it down in a super, super detailed, great way about how to build a meal. And that's what I feel like I'm always lacking is I know the right thing to do. I just need more of a specific instructions, essentially. I need someone to tell me like, you could do this, or you could do that, or here's the amount that you should eat of this. This sheet was very helpful in breaking down, you should have 1 fat, you should have 1 protein, you should have half of a plate full of vegetables, you should have 1 starch or fruit, you should have dairy optionally. It was so nice to break everything down into very specific categories, and not just specific categories of like, eat all those things in every meal, because I've heard that so many times before, and it's kind of abstract when you just say, okay, you need a protein, you need a starch, you need a blah, 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 and that's it. This sheet literally breaks down very specific examples. For example, protein on here, 3 ounces cooked chicken, lean beef, fish, turkey, pork, seafood or wild game, 3 ounces deli style turkey, chicken, ham or roast beef, 2 tablespoons peanut butter, a half a cup of tuna, 2 slices of turkey bacon, 3 ounces turkey sausage, 2 eggs, a half a cup of low fat cottage cheese, hate cottage cheese with a passion, 1 scoop of protein powder, also hate protein powder, 1/4 of a cup of non-salted nuts, veggie burger, half a cup of tofu, half a cup of soybeans, blah, 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 blah. So you have so many examples here of not just like the typical protein you think about of meat, but peanut butter, beans, all these options, which I just think is so nice. Plus the actual recommended serving size that's gonna get you the protein that you need, which she talked about trying to hit between 20 and 30 grams of protein per meal. So this sheet is just full of examples that we talked through of all kinds of different foods, which groups they fit into, and how you can best combine them to make a well-balanced, healthy meal for yourself. And one more thing on this sheet we talked about was how a plate should look like. It should look like a protein is here, and you've got a starch here, but then your whole half of a plate is full of veggies. It was just so like specific. The way that she broke it all down, I loved that there were real examples, and it wasn't just like, for every breakfast, eat 1 cup of oatmeal and 1 cup of blackberries, and that's your only option. It was, okay, let's talk through some breakfasts you like. Like, do you like eggs? Okay, you could do eggs scrambled with some milk and some raspberries on the side, or you could make an omelet and throw some onions and some peppers in there for your veggie. You could have some Greek yogurt with some strawberries in it if you're on the go and need something quick. Like, we talked about real life examples of food that I like and that I could realistically see myself eating every day, and she gave me multiple options for each meal. I mean, you can mix and match so many things, and it just felt really nice to talk about all the options that were at my disposal instead of, you can't have this, you can't have that, you can't have that. There was no talk of what you should restrict at all. No talk of restriction whatsoever. It was all just, oh, you could do this or you could do that, or here's option 50,000 of all the options she gave me. I mean, it was just so nice to hear all of the things that I can have that are going to be really good, healthy choices, and to focus on that positive mindset instead of focusing on you shouldn't eat this and you shouldn't eat that. I'm telling you, there was no talk of that whatsoever. Another thing that I really loved along those lines was I asked her, okay, is there like a certain number I should be sticking to? You know, in the past, Eric and I have done calorie deficit, and that's worked really well for me. And I've actually been able to monitor a calorie deficit really well in a healthy way without, you know, starving myself or depriving myself, but trying to focus more on protein intake. So all this isn't new to me. It's stuff I've done in different variations in the past. I asked her that question is, should I be hitting a certain number? Because I'm used to those practices of restriction, even if it's restriction in a healthy way, like I've done in the past. And she was literally like, nope, you just need to focus on trying to get all these categories met in every meal, and there's no real measurable about it. That's the great thing about this system, is you're just trying to eat a well-balanced diet without having to count calories or count anything really. You just try to stick to these groups and you're good. That's all you have to do. And I was like, oh my gosh, woman, you mean I don't have to count anything? Now, there are things that she recommended, like counting your protein intake and counting the amount of water that you have in a day, stuff like that that's recommended. But that's how she phrased it, as this is what's recommended and this is what would be a good number to shoot for. But no meal is perfect and you're not gonna do this 100% of the time. So don't get bogged down in the numbers. Don't worry about the numbers. Just try to hit meals that have something from each category in a well-balanced manner. And that's all you really need to do. I was like, what? That's all I need to do? Are you kidding me? I can do that. That sounds easy and kind of exciting. Okay, so after she talked me through all the categories, what they all mean, what foods are great in each category, we then talked about my specific day. She literally wrote it out on paper, what she would recommend that I start trying to implement. We talked about for breakfast, doing a carb and a protein with some fat. So she was like, okay, so let's think about what are some breakfasts you like. We could do eggs with whole wheat toast and avocado. You could do an English muffin with a sausage and egg. You could do oats and chia seeds or fruit. Like, she just gave me all these amazing options written out on this form for me. I say form, it's literally a piece of paper with her handwriting on it. Like, it's so easy. It's as easy as that, just like jotting down some notes about it. She recommended eating every 3 to 4 hours, trying to hit like 3 meals plus a snack if I need it. And she did say that the best type of snack is one that's a fruit or a veggie, or if it's a snack right after a workout, a protein-packed snack is really good. And then in terms of workout, I told her I've done strength training, I do a little bit of cardio. It's just a matter of getting into the routine of it. And she was like, yeah, it's recommended that you do it 3 to 4 times a week, you know, whenever you can fit it in. But the best time for me that we determined to fit it into my schedule was right before I eat lunch. So I have breakfast, I have a protein there, so I've got some food in my stomach. I wait a couple hours, I work out, and then in the 30-minute window after my workout is when I just have my typical lunch, because that will include a protein that will help boost my muscles and support the workout I just did, without having to think about like, okay, it's after my workout, I need to figure out an additional protein snack. Just do it right before lunch so that you're used to eating right after you work out, which I thought was really great, because now I typically eat lunch and then work out, and that's not the best thing you can do for like your muscle production. I don't know, she talked about the science of it. It went kind of over my head, but I was like, yeah, that sounds good. She talked about water, obviously, and that how you should shoot for at least 64 ounces of water and build it up from there to whatever half your body weight is. That's your daily recommended value of water. And for me, that was the one thing that if I had gone to this appointment a week ago, I would have been panicking after this appointment, because as you may or may not know, I am addicted to Diet Dr. Pepper, okay? Like, it is juice from the gods, and I used to basically inject it in my veins. I drank so much of that crap and I love it so much. Oh, I can still taste it in my mouth if I think really hard about it. Anyway, I quit a couple of days ago. So I quit before this appointment, and that was very smart of me, because if in that appointment I hadn't quit Diet Dr. Pepper and told her that I was only drinking Diet Dr. Pepper and basically no water, she would have been like, yeah, you need to quit that and drink some water. And that would have been like the one thing coming out of this appointment. I would have been like, this sounds so freaking hard, I'm gonna die. But since I had just like decided, okay, Maile, you gotta quit Diet Dr. Pepper and start drinking water. I've been drinking a crap ton of water, so I was able to tell her that I just quit, I'm drinking water now, that's it. I'm doing good on that. You don't need to tell me. I already did it, I'm good. And she was like, awesome, I don't even have to tell you because you are already doing it, so great job, shoot for at least 64 ounces and you're good. So that was a heartache that thankfully I did not have to endure in this, that made the dietitian appointment a little easier than it may have been if I had still been drinking Diet Dr. Pepper, so that's good. She talked about water, she talked about artificial sweeteners and not consuming things that have aspartame, which obviously is in diet soda, or what was the other one? Sucralose. So I'm gonna have to figure out a different sweetener for my coffee, which she gave me lots of really great sweeteners that are good, like for example, stevia, monk fruit, monk fruit. I don't know what that means. I'm gonna have to look into that. Honey, maple syrup. She even talked about how honey and maple syrup, because they're derived like naturally, they have actual ingredients in them. They're not just totally artificial. They actually have benefits. So even though you think of honey and maple syrup being super sweet and like something you maybe should avoid, like, no, you don't need to avoid those. They have good ingredients that help your body and are good for your body. It's just, think about the sourcing of those things. She recommended Thrive Market as a really good place to get good, like, natural whole ingredient things like that. Coconut sugar was another sweetener that she was like, yeah, that's good. But yeah, she talked about Thrive Market a lot, which I've heard of Thrive Market because lots of YouTubers I follow are sponsored by Thrive Market. But it's basically like a marketplace online where you can get really, really good ingredient snacks, food, all kinds of stuff for a fraction of the cost because it's an online manufacturer. They ship it straight to your home. You pay like a small monthly fee or a yearly fee and you get to be part of this, but your savings outweigh your, yearly membership. Or I know a lot about Thrive Market because actually Jessica Braun is sponsored by them. But she said she really recommends them. If you're struggling to find things at your local grocery store, look at Thrive Market. And I was like, I already know about Thrive Market, lady, and I will do that. Okay, then we talked about my lunches and dinners having a fat, a protein, 2 veggies, and 1 starch, 1 dairy, which is optional. And she stressed like no white anything. Always look for brown rice, whole wheat noodles, whole wheat bread. Just avoid the regular white sugar because that sugar has been stripped of all its value and it just turns into sugar in your body and it's not giving you any sort of nutritional goodness. She also recommended that I add a probiotic into my daily regimen and fish oil on days that we're not eating fish for dinner because fish is like the best source for omega-3s and that's like super, super good for your body. So when you're not eating fish, you should definitely take a fish oil supplement to still get those amazing vitamins or whatever omega-3 is. Like I said, some of this stuff was like, I've never heard of that in my life. Most of it is very simple stuff that I've heard many times throughout my life and already know. Some of it like the probiotic and the omega-3s and some of the sweeteners, I was like, yeah, I never heard of that in my life. Most of it was really easy stuff. It's just packaged all together from someone who's a third party, super knowledgeable, like not my husband spouting off he has a lot of knowledge on this kind of stuff, but when it comes from him, it feels a little bit like he's telling me what to do, which is certainly not the case, but that's why I say third party. It's nice to hear from someone who's not attached to me whatsoever and can just give me really informed, professional grade advice in a beautiful package tied with a bow that just makes perfect sense to me and gets me really excited about making some sustainable changes to make my life even more healthy and focus on getting super well-balanced meals, not restricting myself at all, but focusing on the positive, focusing on what good things I should be consuming. And man, she was so great. I really, really, really loved her approach. I totally recommend that you guys go see a dietitian if you struggle with some of these same things. I would just make sure to read reviews on that person or get recommendations from maybe friends that have gone so that you know that that person is going to be an affirming, body positive, good source of information that's not going to be super restrictive or judgmental. Do your research before you go and make sure you're finding one that fits within what you're looking to get out of it. But otherwise, it was a 10 out of 10 amazing experience. I'm so excited for my next steps, which are to meal plan and to try to design meals that fit within these categories. And I'm just excited about like trying new stuff, trying new combinations, and implementing some of these small changes to make my life overall healthier. I don't know, it was just a very affirming appointment. I did not feel any sort of shame or judgment or you're doing bad because your body looks a certain way or you eat a certain way, feelings from her. It was very, very, very positive, uplifting, affirming. It was great. I loved it. So that was my experience with the nutritionist this morning. My plan is to kind of ruminate on all this and think about everything I've learned. I'm so excited to sit down and meal plan. Eric's of course gonna help me and do it with me. I just can't wait to see all the fun new healthy things that I can try and implement and do, and I'm excited to share the journey. So we will of course continue to do our health update videos like always, but I may do some more videos about this journey with the nutritionist recommendations and maybe some meal planning, some healthy grocery shopping, some weekly dinners. Maybe that would be a fun video to show you dinners that we cook in a week. All this to say, my brain is buzzing. I have lots of ideas. I'm excited to share more. Thank you guys so much. I think that's it for this video. Don't forget to like it if you want to see more videos like this, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!